Welcome to DAPs Magic Live. I am Mr. DAPs, and you may not be able to see him, but Murray the Bellhop is live from Walt Disney World on New York. You are. Happy New Year, Murray. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm not as tired as I thought I was going to be, which is always a good thing. So,
and you're at the Magic Kingdom right now with the newly painted Cinderella Castle. It's gorgeous. Give us a little tour around the hub and tell us what it's like there today.
Well, and for one thing, why we're kind of doing this is it's the first day to be able to park hop again. And so I had a park reservation for Magic Kingdom and thought I'd start here. And we're going to make our way to another park, hopefully eventually.
And you did the important part. You got your coffee at Magic Kingdom.
Oh,
so that you can.
Yeah. I think we're actually going to get to see a Cavalcade.
That's fun.
In a minute. So I'm actually, instead of walking around the hub, I think I'm just going to start here.
Okay. As it gets closer, I'm going to take you to full screen. And if there's anything that you guys see who are watching in the chat, let us know, and we will try to accommodate pointing it out for you. What'd you say, Murray?
Oh, I was just saying that's probably good to make it full screen. We can get a big view of this cavalcade. I have no idea what it is. Oh, here we go.
Here it comes. All right, I'm going to be quiet and let it go. And how fitting was it that it was that song from Mickey's Mix Magic for is this your first cavalcade of the year?
What's that?
Was this your first cavalcade of the year?
I think officially. I had heard one is I was making my way to an area of the park when I first got in, but I didn't stop and see that one. So that was the first one.
Very fitting. We know how much you love that firework projection show, and that's the music for it. Get your ears on. That's awesome.
I was trying not to dance because it was going to shake the camera greatly. So
yeah, understandable.
And if you see the person in front of me walking, they still have the stickers that are appropriate to the song as well. So
nice.
She has one as she's walking. But
well, that is very cool, and it doesn't look like it's super crowded today. Is that accurate?
It is. It is not feeling too bad. There's a lot of kind of empty space. There's some lands that I think are a little more crowded than others. Tomorrowland had quite a bit of different lines and people. Before the stream, I got some food at Cosmic Rays, and there's definitely people in there. So, but the nice thing is I think just everyone's kind of spread out in a way, and it makes it a very pleasant time to come through.
Totally. And so it looks busier than when we were there in September, but I wouldn't say it's a busy day. Is that an accurate?
Yeah. I've been here quite a few times to Walt Disney World, and
no, once or twice.
It can get really busy. It can get pretty busy. So this is not bad. This is quite pleasant.
Well, and it's such a beautiful day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's been some days that have been a little cloudy.
Which I wouldn't mind either, because we both know I love a good rainstorm.
Oh, yeah.
It was funny because we were texting the other day, and I was getting the thunderstorm and the rainstorm, and I think you had perfect weather over there.
Yeah, which is unusual for Florida.
Mm-hmm. You know, we have those random magic moments once in a while, and that's a lot of fun. So it looks like you're heading into Adventureland, which sometimes can be one of the busier areas of the park, or more crowded, just because it's a little bit. It's funny how both at Disneyland and Magic Kingdom, that can be a little bit of a tighter spot.
I've seen some sites in videos recently of old, very early Disney World stuff, and there was not the flying carpets, and it's interesting how like spacious it is.
Oh, I can imagine that. And of course, you're just about to pass one of my favorite things, which is the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse.
You know, there are quite a bit of lines around the park. However, I have a feeling
I like this thought.
There's not one for this.
I think you should do this.
I think so too.
I think this is a great idea. And it's appropriate because there's a Swiss Family Robinson show that they're developing for Disney Plus. So this can be like the before the show walkthrough of.
Definitely. Causing you to see what's happening.
So how much time does it say on that?
0 minutes.
0 minutes. Wow, that's a wait.
0 minutes. Looks like you can just get through.
I always wanted to live here when I was a kid.
Oh, me too.
I mean, I still do, but like that, if they had a magical moment thing and you could do anywhere, stay anywhere in the park, you'd be like, Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse, please.
I'm surprised they've never, well, maybe they will for Disney Plus, do a promotion, but you know how sometimes like they'll do something where you stay in like the Haunted Mansion elevator or...
Totally. Well, I think the trick with this one would be is you'd almost have to stay on the ground, like underneath the tree, because if I remember correctly, the beds are really short.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess there's not exactly anywhere to stay.
And I don't know if it's true or not, but when I was a kid, my grandpa's like, well, people were shorter back in the day. And that's true to an extent. I don't know that they were that short, though.
I've heard that statistic or facts, whatever that
Yeah.
is. I've heard that too. And actually going on tour around the Virginia, Washington, D.C. area in all the various founding fathers' houses.
That makes sense. So when you get to the top, can you show the view of like the castle and the hub? Do you know where I'm talking about?
Oh, good idea. Yep.
Thanks. This is really cool. Like I don't know why we haven't done this before. I mean, it's not quite as cool as when we went together, but it's still pretty cool. Maybe show the room a little bit on your right.
Okay. This is working now because if I were on my own, I'd just be like, oh.
Hey, look, there's a tree.
I like trees.
So my question for you, Murray, is if you could spend a night in this Swiss Family Robinson treehouse, that was gorgeous, by the way, or the original Swiss Family Robinson treehouse at Disneyland, which one would you choose?
I would choose Disneyland, but I think it's like a nostalgia factor.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful.
Fortunately, I don't think I could zoom in with this, but
that's okay. It's still really pretty.
You can kind of see. I'll move over a little bit too. You can see in the distance some of the progress on.
Shanghai. I almost called it Shanghai.
Shanghai, yeah.
The castle. I love the framing of the castle of this right now too. On the left. Oh, that's beautiful. That's going to be really cool. With this part. That's going to be a really cool picture once Tron is done. Because you're going to frame Castle, Space Mountain, and Tron right in the middle. That will be, yeah. So I think I would agree with you. I'd want to stay at the Disneyland one. Thank you for showing that. And see how short that bed is? That's cool.
So maybe,
I'd want to stay at Disneyland with Family Robinson Treehouse as well. But the one thing that would make me want to stay at this one is the weather would be super. Can you imagine a thunderstorm up there?
I mean,
terrifying,
yes,
but also, right? Yeah, it's great.
I think if you don't mind getting wet.
Well, there's a roof, and you could put up like burlap bags for walls or something.
Yeah.
This is the brothers' room, right?
I think so.
I think it'll say it when you get up to it, if I remember correctly.
I'm trying to remember what the last one was. That was like the parents' one.
I think that was mother and father's room, if I remember correctly. Well done with the social distancing.
Yeah. Yep. Ernst Francis' room.
I'm impressed. I remembered that.
Yeah, even the hammocks might be a little short. I don't know.
I feel like the hammocks we could make work though.
I can make them work. I'm with you.
Yeah. I mean, we could. That could do it. That is so fun. So did I see you went on Jungle Cruise the other day, or Jingle Cruise?
I did. Yes.
Nice. How was it?
It's fun. I really like when they do that overlay. If you can stand the jokes, then it's always great.
And that's exactly what it's all about.
Yeah. And it was really fun. There's actually my favorite joke out of Jingle Cruise. Now, maybe partially out of all of Jungle Cruise was with the natives. They uh-oh. I actually lost my earbud. Hold on.
Okay, don't completely lose it. It's like the audio just changed.
Thankfully, I didn't completely lose it. There we go.
That's a little terrifying.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened. It might be because I'm looking down a lot. So the joke was with the natives. There's the ones that are drumming, and they turn to them and said, and there you have little drummers drumming. Probably was not setting that up well to actually have a good joke.
But I get where it's going.
I appreciated that a lot.
I do like as we're doing this walkthrough, I like how spread out this Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse is compared to Disneyland's. Like, it just feels more spacious.
It's more horizontal is maybe one way to put it. Like,
has a bigger footprint.
I feel like the rooms, and so it makes it a little nicer. It makes it, I think, almost a better, dare I say, it's a little bit of a better walkthrough because of that. Because I feel like Disneyland, it's just a lot of stairs, and this one, you have some space in between, like walk around a corner into another room kind of thing.
Well, and I think this one also immerses you a little bit more in some regards because you're not like right up against everything. Like, you're very aware of Jungle Cruise, and you're very aware of, you know, Rivers of America are right there too. And gotta love those backup beeps. Yeah, so this feels a little bit busier than, like, much busier than when we were there in September.
Yeah.
I mean, but if it was any other year, we'd be like, oh, this is nothing.
This is usually a very hard corridor to get through.
Totally.
On more usual times, I realize I've actually, not exactly this day, but I've been here at the resort about the same time before because of having done the Disney World Marathon, which has usually been a couple days after New Year's is when everything kind of starts.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so I can tell a difference with crowds and everything just from that. Like, those few days are very busy, tons of people.
Well, and you think of years, this is the time of year, like this week in particular, where the parks are so full they close them down, and they close entrances and whatever. And with this is the one, not the only, but one of the benefits of the park pass system is you're never going to reach that point where you're turning people away at the gates because you already know before you come.
Yeah.
Which I liked when we were there in September. Like, I liked knowing, like, having that, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think I like the flexibility more.
I'm finding it, like, different in a way. Oh, there's the usual face covering announcement.
Which we're not really hearing that much.
The line in Pirates.
Okay.
I think the crowd level volume is a little high too.
It could be that too.
It's super well myself, so.
Because I can hear you pretty well. It's more of just like the area music and stuff is a little bit more muffled. I think it's because it's picking you up instead.
That works, hopefully. Sorry, everyone, if you were hoping for more ambiance.
Hey, you know what? Maybe we'll do it again someday, and we'll do something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It is pretty crazy to think that here I'm sitting in California in the studio while you're walking around Magic Kingdom. And we're having a conversation where we can see, like, if I turn my camera back on, we can see what we're seeing.
All real time.
And I think back when we started on YouTube 14 years ago or whatever it was, where we could have 10 minutes, which we discovered was 10 minutes and 59 seconds. And the quality was way less than this. And we're streaming this through the internet.
And trying to figure out how to get the video off of a camera onto the computer.
Which took
in order
forever
to get it on YouTube.
Yeah. Funny thing is when you said what we had to take the video camera or the video off of and put it onto, my Alexa definitely lit up because it heard its name. Yeah, so this is busier for sure, but it's not like, it's interesting to see This is the best documentation I've seen of it from us.
I think what's nice is it's very walkable. And
Oh yeah.
I've been at the park before where you're like doing stuff into a traffic kind of thing.
And that's just not fun. I'm remembering a early morning breakfast we had right here, Murray.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Nachos?
If you could call it breakfast, is that the one that I'm thinking? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yep. Breakfast in quotes.
Do I see a country bear up on the ledge?
Hmm.
I love that they're doing this.
A couple of them, actually.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I have still absolutely loved the cavalcades and the little character moments.
I agree with you. I miss parades just because I'm thinking, especially at Disneyland, like Magic Happens, which would have almost been a year old. Like, I love those things.
Oh, yeah.
They're spectacular, but there is something really fun about the cavalcades, and in my perfect world, you'd almost have both.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be really expensive, I bet.
Or I wonder if you could do like a little bit of a shorter parade or something. You know,
Yeah.
like 3 float long or something, or do a parade of like the smaller.
Yeah.
Smaller.
Do I see the Rivers of America is still empty?
It is. I know. I was actually going to walk by.
Oh, good. If you can.
And I'm like, oh, that's right. It's dragged.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It is interesting how much it changes the viewpoint of Haunted Mansion, though. Like, it just feels so much smaller without the water there.
Mm. I think so. And I wish I could zoom in, but I mean, this is actually kind of neat and interesting because I feel like, too, this is so strange.
Yeah.
Like Disneyland, when they had it, you'd have walls. There are no walls right here, obviously. So don't worry, everyone. I'm not in the part that I'm not supposed to be. I'm allowed to be right here. You can see the track. You can see how deep everything actually is, because that's the dock for the.
Yeah.
I always want to call it the Mark Twain, and it's not the Mark Twain, but.
Is it Liberty Bell?
So everyone. I think it is Liberty Bell now. I think the very first one was Richard F. Irvine.
Yeah.
What's that?
So is it? Yeah. Does it look like cement underneath there, or is it clay, or like what is?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of both.
You know, now that you say it, it might actually be more clay. I think a little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah. I think closer to shore, it's more clay, and then it looks like it's kind of cement as you go towards the island.
Okay. So I bet there's
everyone who's watching is enjoying this as much as me. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to when you go back.
We have proof now. If go back to what?
No, I want you to come back and rewatch this and tell me what you think about this part too.
I would probably still do it.
I love it.
Sometimes I feel like I'm the person that, like, if I rewatch something, I'm like, oh wait, I didn't see that one thing before. And,
totally.
And all, but you know,
it's interesting having you walk us around right now, because like I'm noticing details like when you're walking through Adventureland, even just like the building that you walk through as you're coming into Frontierland, I noticed it differently through this lens than I normally would through my camera lens or just walking around.
I think I'm gonna go turn around. That's a
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were to keep walking down, you don't need to. I bet you're not going to see any alligators here today, huh?
No, I was thinking about that. I was going to say I'd be very, very surprised if there was one. You know, I would feel bad for it too.
An alligator
probably made a wrong turn.
Yeah. The only time I've seen an alligator in a Disney park was just up ahead. It was quite exciting. It was a little one.
And just in case anyone's scared, it was not actually like anywhere where you could walk, right?
No, it was down underneath. It was pretty cool though.
Oh yeah, I've seen some at hotels, and it's amusing from a safe distance.
So how do you feel? Like, is mask compliance pretty much 99% here this time?
Yeah, actually, that's a good percentage. I've noticed some things at times, but generally you may see one coming up actually. But I think I would say people maybe don't realize some things. Like it's more that it's not a like outright defiance. A lot of times it's
The nose thing.
They're walking and eating or walking and drinking. And
Okay.
And I get it. Like there's actually been times that like I'll grab the drink and then start to go stand somewhere, and like before I get to that spot, I'll take off my mask a couple of steps, and I'm like, oh shoot,
yeah. I mean, it's such a habit.
It is like right before I get to the spot that I want to get to.
Yeah.
But it is that thing in my mind where I'm like, oh, I really should have waited until I stop.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But generally, I have seen every like the wearing the correct, the full on over the nose.
That's really good. How long? Can you see how long the line is for Haunted Mansion right now?
Sure.
I'm just being curious at this point.
Yeah. I do not think it's accurate. It is saying 25 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Probably over this way.
I feel like we've been in a 25-minute line before, and it was not that.
Wasn't it 25 when we?
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
That's what I mean. Yeah. I don't feel like we waited that far back.
So you think it's longer than 25?
My guess is at least 35.
Okay.
This, I believe, is for Peter Pan. So they're actually
wow.
through Harbor House.
So that was not that long when we were there.
No.
The other thing I'm noticing that's a little bit different, it appears, is they were very careful when we were there about not having lines next to each other, and it looks like that might not be the case anymore. Is that accurate?
Mm-hmm.
And I assume that there's some science and data behind that, but it is an interesting observation. And I really think this is a prime example of what we mentioned on our trip in many of the vlogs, is like, if you're not comfortable with what you're seeing right now, don't get anywhere near it.
Don't go. Yeah, I would greatly say that. Originally on this trip that I'm taking, my parents were supposed to come along with me, and they were deciding, it's probably not safe in general to travel for them.
Yeah.
They're older, a lot older, and so we decided that I can still come, and I'm glad that they didn't come.
I am too.
The crowds, I would not feel good about them coming to something like this.
No. I mean, I wouldn't want my parents in this either.
Yeah, and it's a weird thing of it's not terrible. I mean, again, you can see like everything opened up again, and again, like the lines, like I'd say 99% people are compliant and spacing out. wearing masks. It's really not bad. You know, it's also got doors. But yeah, it's just that I think it's just at least the feeling of being safe or not being safe. That's something too, and you don't want to feel panic. That doesn't help things either. So,
and there's a risk that you have to take into mind. It's like, is it worth the risk? And
yeah,
if you don't have underlying conditions, maybe it is. But both of our parents have underlying conditions, and that's why I haven't seen my parents pretty much at all since this started. And I love this area since they redid it.
Me too.
And it's so fun to take pictures of these, I guess, gates and these turrets and.
Mm-hmm.
And this just reminds me that I have a video of Seven Dwarfs Mine Train from our trip that I need to put up still.
I can't remember if I've even put one from one in August.
I filmed it, didn't I? Or did I not?
I think you filmed it, yeah.
I thought I did too.
This last time?
Yeah. It was funny because when we went in September, for those of you watching, we'd be going on these different attractions, and it was always just like, "Did you film this one already?" And Murray would be like, "Yep." I'm like, "Okay, never mind." Because I was testing, which I absolutely love.
In having come in August was hardly anything compared to this. That it was easy to get on so many rides, and so I just kept filming every single one.
Right. Well, it was like that one day at Magic Kingdom where we got on, was it 3 or 4 attractions in the last 20 minutes, 15 minutes of the park being open? Like, we were nailing it. I think the one thing that I miss during this phased reopening, well, not one thing, but one of the things that I really miss is seeing the characters out and about. Just because it does add a little bit more life to magic. Like, I was thinking of how you would often see Gaston up here on the left as you're walking by, and they're doing a really good job.
And I know around. Oh, go ahead.
Well, they're doing, I think, a really good job with putting them on balconies and stuff, but it's still like it's just not like, especially the Gaston, I think, is a prime example. Is it just doesn't have that like, oh, I'm living here feel. Whereas, when you used to see the country bears walking around Frontierland, it felt like they inhabited the land, as opposed to I'm just standing here waving at you, which is great, especially for photos. and I'm very thankful they did it. I just do miss the inhabitation, I guess you could say. I think I just made that word up, of the characters. So is this the line for Seven Dwarfs?
That's my guess. I don't think it's for Dumbo. I don't think it's for Barnstormer.
I think we got lucky when we were there.
Oh, we did. Yeah.
Because that was like 25 minutes too, right?
Yeah, I think it was listed as more, but I think that was all rated. Yeah. And kind of in the prime of the day, in a way, like usually you still have long line clear into the night. And that was not the case for us. So.
Yeah.
What was it? I went somewhere like quickly, or trying to be quick, and we thought we had more time. And so suddenly I came back, and you had to wait like a couple people, or let a couple people go, right?
Yeah, that's right.
It was going fast.
Yeah, that was this one. feel like this attraction, the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, is what you would get if they created like Gadget's Ghost Coaster today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's in a similar vein to like Slinky Dog. Like it's getting to be that kind of more family-friendly roller coaster.
It's a really good blend of adding a little bit of adventure, but being accessible for the whole family.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the colors in Florida. Like everything is so vibrant and
I always feel that way too. And sometimes I feel like it's the sun, but I don't know if it's also just they keep up.
Yeah, I wonder if it's the sun, the humidity, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, my pictures always look better in Florida.
We need more swampland in
California. That's the answer.
We need more swamps. We only have more swamps. Said no one. Except for Kirby.
So the People Mover's still not back up, huh?
Not so far. Yeah.
Okay.
Earlier in this trip, I had seen them working on it. So
yeah, I've seen some test runs it look like online, but I haven't seen people being able to go on it yet.
Yeah.
Which is weird, but now we can have People Mover watch 2021. That's kind of long, though. That's a very long hashtag. Yeah,
that is a line for ice cream.
That's a line. But even then, as you're walking through here, it's really not insanely busy.
No.
Like when you feel like this is Tomorrowland like this.
Right. I feel like this is one of the other spots that can get very tricky to walk through.
Especially this walkway you're just about to walk into.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sorry, everyone.
Hey, there's Murray.
Gimbal. Gimbal malfunction.
But your face covering was not malfunctioning, so that was good.
No.
Brief demonstration.
Oh,
even
no!
when the camera goes I really do like the new entrance to Tomorrowland as I see it off in the distance again. It feels so timeless.
Finally.
Yeah.
And it looks very nice at night, I will say.
Well, I really wish, like, I want to come back again because we really didn't get to see it very much at night when I was here with you in September.
Mm-hmm.
And since the last time I've photographed that park at night, I have a new camera, as do you. And I just love to see what we can get out of that. It looks like it's comfortably warm. It's not like the oppressive heat. Is that correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If there is humidity, I can't really tell. It's
okay.
It seems more like a dry heat, which is nice for Florida.
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often.
I mean, it's really not bad walking around. Oh, you know what?
Is there another cavalcade?
We might get another cavalcade.
Which one is it?
I think it's the princess one.
Oh, I like that one. Oh yeah, I hear it.
So I will stop up here.
Sure.
Around the corner.
I wonder if you took one of your ears out, if we'd be able to hear the music better, Mary.
I can do that. Yeah. Let's try it.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you. Was that it? Where your face mask sign?
Oh, now I can't hear you too well, though.
Okay, don't worry about it. We'll just watch.
And there is the second cavalcade of the year.
Nice. Fairy Godmother really has the best spot on that, doesn't she?
Who does?
Fairy Godmother.
Yeah. Very fun.
I just realized I'm speaking to you, but it's probably really loud right now.
No.
Oh, okay.
I put the earbud back in, so you're good.
Oh, no, I just meant in general, that seems like it's pretty loud when there's a cavalcade going by.
Oh. No, I think. No, I guess the speaker's still on. I was thinking that it was slowly turning off, but I don't think it is. Well, I might follow this out. I think.
All right. Let's go
it might
to
be
Epcot,
time to. Yeah, I think that's the attempt that we're going to do.
I love that idea.
I just realized this is. I'm going to take a slight different.
Yeah, I would wait a minute. It's pretty loud.
So he probably explained to everyone. You're probably going to get the funny thing of Mr. Daps and I did not fully process what we're doing exactly.
Oh no, we're making this up as we go.
But there is probably going to be a couple breaks from me because you're not allowed to film during security.
Yep. So during those times,
and then
in the studio.
And I might keep it on. I have the ability, I think, to kind of just put this in the passenger seat of the car that I have, and do a little bit of a driving tour. I think
that would be fun.
But also, we might have to see how that all goes.
Yeah, we'll do our best.
Yeah. Partially waiting, just again, it's a little loud, but I might as well keep going.
Yeah, I would think it would end in a minute. Man, that's a big tree. And you mentioned that today they're not playing Christmas music anymore on Main Street. It's back to the normal area music, right?
Yeah. It's actually, I love the Christmas loop a lot.
I do too.
But it is also nice just to have the Main Street loop again. And even with the Christmas decorations, like it's kind of a nice balance for right now.
Well, I always enjoy just Main Street as Main Street when it doesn't have extra decorations, like when it's just Main Street.
I'm kind of curious how fast we get everything down.
It does look weird with having the train seat and having the trims all over.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I just realized I was going to go the route that they're actually turning towards.
Minor technicality. It is amazing how, like, it felt like it went by pretty quick, but it's still in town square.
Mm-hmm. This Cavalcade in particular is the closest to being a parade, I think.
That's long.
Like you almost kind of have 3 parade units.
Yep.
if I haven't been able to see any just general live chats and stuff, but you could probably say for me if anyone's watching. Might have to be fast. I could take the ferry boat or I could take the monorail.
Oh, there's a no-brainer there.
If there's any votes.
Vote.
Right? That's a no-brainer. Is that a vote for the ferry boat then from you?
Oh yeah. We'll see if there's any chat people that disagree with me, but
Happy New Year.
Just in case you didn't remember, it is New Year's Day.
It is.
Who would have ever guessed to be this quiet on a holiday?
Not 2000.
Right?
I would not. I mean.
Oh, we have a second vote for the ferry boat, Murray.
All right. Let's just say that's winning.
That's unanimous consent, the way I see it.
Yeah.
So you rented a car this time, is that right?
I did. I will say here now, because I'm sure I'm going to be talking and recording something when I get back. So I'm here for 2 weeks. This first week, I have been at the Swan and Dolphin, the Dolphin in particular. So I actually rented a car for that because. And also just for information for people who are thinking about staying, it's a great hotel and it's a great location. Currently, they don't have Disney buses. They do have buses that are going to the parks, but they're kind of their own, and so it would work. But I will also be going to the Give Kids World Village eventually, so I thought I'll just rent a car, and that kind of takes care of that. So the way Magic Kingdom works, that's different from all the other parks, is that the parking lot is across this body of water.
Which is known as?
I think this one's the Seven Seas Lagoon?
Correct. I believe so, at least. I don't live there. Yeah, Swan and Dolphin did use Disney buses, but they switched, was it 2 months ago, Murray? A month ago?
Mm-hmm.
And so now they're using... Yeah. I feel like it was right after when we went, and I think it's Mears now, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming that means you get dropped off further away from the park too, right?
Hopefully this is not going to be bad for everyone. I'm going to go gimbal-less for this.
Okay. That reminds me of the Muppet segment where Fozzie and Rolf are playing a duet, and the hat falls off, and Rolf is like, "Can you play hatless?"
I forgot what he says. He had something about it, right? Oh, we
say it again.
That's right. Look at this. What does Fozzie say for it? I forgot now.
I don't know. I think he says, "I don't know," actually, or "I don't know that one."
No,
I don't remember exactly.
Right, yeah.
What a
Which
lovely
also is
day.
amazing to me because you get this, yeah. Because I always used to think that Fozzie's hat was attached. I'm not sure that was it.
Ground markers have 40 that remain stationary on only over ground marker. Though, if you're your party, be sure to take a ground marker.
Are they still asking you to not sit on the benches?
So, sorry, it's a little windy here through the Uber, but they're asking to stay on green dots.
Okay.
I think I just found the green dot. Almost got run over.
Nice. You got the premier spot. Yeah, Marla, you definitely need to take the ferry over to Magic Kingdom. It is one of my favorite experiences at Walt Disney World. When we were there in September, we left Magic Kingdom right at sunset, and we had one of the most beautiful cruises across.
Mm-hmm. I apologize for some of the unsteadiness. I'm trying to pull a charger out of my backpack.
You know, as one does.
Yeah.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, again. Welcome to the Admiral Joe Fowler. Hope you had a magical day. We are casting off for a long 7-minute
You got a minute and a half.
You got a good spot.
I try to get this one, even when I'm not doing anything with the camera. It's just a nice spot.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really a fun day when we got to do it during the sunset. That is the challenge with the ferries. It does get windy.
Really? I can't tell right now. No, it's very windy.
Your earbuds do pretty good, though, at hiding the wind. Like, occasionally you hear it, but... It's also interesting how much faster it feels like you're going when you're on the lower deck versus the upper deck.
I'm trying to think the last time I've gone on the upper deck. I usually haven't stuck to this part more. Or this deck, I should say. So directly in front of me is the Polynesian, and then also the Polynesian bungalows, which is part of the
I want to stay there.
Me too.
I've seen an alligator here once too, on the left. Yeah. This has to be one of the coolest jobs at Magic or at Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
You have the best spot.
I totally forgot how I came in. I don't know how I forgot, but this worked out very well.
Say it again.
Oh, I totally forgot that this is how it enters into the other port.
Oh yeah.
And I'm very glad that I aimed for here.
Yeah, you've got a perfect spot. So now we're going to make our way over to Epcot, and the way it works is to use the park hopping function. You have to have either an annual pass or a ticket with a park hopping option on it, and this is all due or limited by capacity. So if there's capacity at the second park, you can move to it. If there is not, then you cannot. It's all about keeping things safe and not too crowded, and you need to have a Disney park reservation or park pass reservation at one park in the morning, and then after 2:00 currently you can move to the other park or parks. As I'm seeing on Twitter, some people are making it to all 4 parks. That's kind of interesting. And so we are going to attempt to see how this is... Huh? But
we're going to try 4 parks.
Right. So we're going to attempt to do a park hop from Magic Kingdom right now to Epcot, and hopefully this works. There are buses, if you didn't have a rental car like Murray has, just before 2:00 they are starting park hopping buses, and according to a press release I got from Disney, you do need to validate the fact that you have a park hopping ticket to board one of those buses. At least that's what they were promoting. We'll see if that's actually what happens in practice. But the other thing I think I read is that the Epcot monorail is not operating yet either. So
it is not, yeah.
Yeah, so you do need to take a bus, or I guess you could walk if you started at Epcot or Hollywood Studios and went to the other park.
Mm-hmm.
But
and they have the boats over there too. So that's
and the boats,
for that area,
which is one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love taking the boats over.
Although mostly.
It looks like you're freezing up a little bit, so I will talk a little bit more, Murray. And
Okay.
Oh, there you're back.
Okay.
It's all
Which
that
is
technology.
very possible that's going to happen at times too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
I'm glad that it was pretty steady in Magic Kingdom. Now that I think about it, I don't think we had any.
Yeah, I was surprised at how good of a signal you had through the entire Magic Kingdom stretch of this, and
I'm also still gimbal-less.
Yeah, that's fine. I do think it's interesting.
Not,
I can count on one hand the amount of times I've actually parked in this parking lot, and that's kind of funny as I'm watching you go out a way that really I'm not used to. I'm like, oh wait, no, I always go the other way.
I would imagine, this is just a guess for those who are watching. If you're watching, you're welcome to chime in. This is probably not the average way that people come to Magic Kingdom or really like know what this is like. So I hope it's actually enjoyable to see. It's like Magic Kingdom.
And it's way different right now too, because you don't have the trams right now, and you have to go through the health screening and the security screening. So it's a much different experience than it would have been a year ago today, even.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot more walking. Like that's one thing to keep in mind if you do go to Walt Disney World in the near future. Is there's more walking to get from buses. It seems like there's more walking to get from your car, especially. And then if you're in a what do they call it? Partner hotels. Those always have buses further out as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just amazed at how comfortable the day looks.
The Swan and Dolphin hotels.
Go ahead, Murray.
Yes. Oh,
I missed
just the buses for the Swan and Dolphin. It's considered more partner hotel, which is the buses are going to those spots instead of the usual Disney spots.
Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate, but it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
The weird thing is it kind of would make me less apt to want to stay in one of those. Like I still think it'd be amazing to stay there, but I do think that would be a part of my equation is like, oh, it's going to take a little bit longer to get into the parks. And I do feel like the Disney buses are the most efficient for those things. Having stayed at the partner hotels versus the on-property ones. So what kind of car did you get this time, Marie?
Yeah, you and I have gotten to stay at both a Nissan. We get a little ways, but we're going to see a nice dirt pile.
Did you say a nice dirt pile?
Stay tuned.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's exciting.
You know, the important things.
And Marla's saying taking the Disney buses right now is great because of the social distancing, no cramming everyone in. I totally agree. It's much nicer to have space than to be sardines in the bus.
I think even with that this time and what we were talking about with the Swan and Dolphin buses, I think you and I have stayed at non-Disney hotels.
Mm-hmm.
Even are still somewhat on property. There's still something nice about staying on a Disney property hotel that the amenities really actually make a difference.
It's surprising, because we've gotten some really good deals, especially the ones around Disney Springs, and I have zero real complaints about them. But if I were to compare them to the experiences that we've had at any of the different levels of resorts at Walt Disney World. It's just night and day different. It's like you can't even compare the two. Like one is a place to sleep and the other is you're still in the Disney magic. Man, you really are far back here. I guess that makes sense because you didn't get in super early.
See the amazing colossal, the ninth wonder of the world. That is actually a good that looks like it's been there for a long time since there's some greenery on it.
Someday. Yeah, you're way out by the.
This is not too bad of a view. You get some of the wagon track.
Well, and I like the flat top parking lots versus the parking structures. Like there's something a little bit more magical and comfortable. I don't know. I like seeing the sky, I guess. I will be curious to see how many feet you walked today, or how many steps you walked.
I should look at that one and see how much it is.
You know, just a couple.
Yeah, give or take. In case anyone thinks that I forgot where I parked, I do know it's this road.
I love when that happens. It is interesting. I keep having this moment like, oh, maybe we'll see a monorail. And this is the Epcot monorail line, isn't it?
I know. Yeah.
But we are slowly making our way to Epcot.
Get to. We are. And you might see some wonky. I'm going to try to stay live. I know this is the most exciting thing in the world.
And I will bring myself onto camera as well, just so in case anything happens, you'll still have something to look at for a minute or two, and then we'll get Murray right back as quickly as we can, depending on technology and safety. Because we're just going to put the camera right on top of the car, and can you imagine like people looking at like the car going by with a gimbal and a phone on top of it, live streaming? Murray, Angela would like
at this point in time, that probably wouldn't surprise anyone.
Right? It's 2021 now. Angela would like to know, Murray, are they still parking cars every other space and then filling them in later, or do you just do like, are they just filling them in as they come?
They're still doing every other, and then
okay.
I'm guessing. I think I got here one something, and so I'm wondering if it's like after 12 is when they start just filling everything in. You know, I can't verify that at all, but
sure.
Yeah. Okay, let us see how well this is all.
This is gonna be fun.
We're gonna attempt this. So it's going right now. It's going back into gimbal. I'm sure everyone. This is like the moment they've been waiting for. Is the amazing
gimbal on a car.
All of this, and the making of the gimbal in the car. I
do like hearing the bird squeak at you.
Yeah. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there, everyone. Don't worry.
I'm completely intrigued to see how you do this.
This is all the amazing I don't know. I can't actually see what this is looking at right now.
That's not a terrible shot. Like we're seeing out the front window a little bit, and we see a little bit of the steering wheel, so we might see your hand or something. That could work.
The gimbal in.
I think safety first. Yeah, we'll get a good look at this.
So you might get a little bit of the seatbelt. I'll be right back.
That's okay. So this is live streaming at its finest, where you're actually getting to experience life as we live stream. And there you can see Murray getting into the car.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be magical. This is a new one for us. I feel like this is like kind of like the Muppets driving, where you always wonder how they do it. And now you kind of know. I mean, not really, but.
All right, here we go.
Are you going to your hotel, or are you going to go to Epcot? Where are you going to park?
I'm going to go to my hotel, so everyone gets to see what that's actually like to kind of go through and if you've never gone through the International Gateway entrance, that's what we're going to do.
Which is a lot of fun. And if you're staying at one of the Disney Skyliner hotels now, or resorts, you get to go through that entrance because that is where the Skyliner drops you off.
Mm-hmm.
Which we enjoyed. It was funny. Was it the first day at Epcot where it started pouring in the evening and we got completely drenched while waiting for the Skyliner?
Mm-hmm.
That was an adventure.
Wasn't it that like umbrellas were not quite working as they should have?
Well, when the rain's going sideways, the umbrellas aren't going to do much of anything. But yeah, and we kept taking pictures, which we kind of put the umbrellas down for that as well. So,
oh yeah, you got to do that. Now, I don't know if it's getting. Oh, that's probably not getting a clear shot that way.
This is live, so maybe aim it a tiny bit lower if you can, because we got a wonderful view of your ceiling. There you go.
And let me know. You can keep telling me. I'm kind of
okay. I will do my best.
It might
That's a good shot.
Again, but there were signs that were going two different directions for exits. So
oops, we fell over again. We knew this was going to be an adventure when we were plotting this out. We're like, this could go really well or really terrible, and either way, it's going to be hilarious. That's kind of our attitude towards most things with DAPs, is like, it could be really good or really bad, but we'll have fun doing it.
And sometimes the really bad actually turns out to be really good. So.
That is so true. That is very true. So talk us through, where are you at right now? Because we're just seeing a couple of clouds and trees.
Okay. I'm trying to angle it a little bit. And don't worry, sure. I am still safely driving.
Okay, good. You're not driving with your eyes closed?
Oh yeah, that's the only way to drive. So I'm Perfect. Still in the Magic Kingdom parking lot, actually. This is the Transportation and Ticket Center parking lot also. So it is a very large parking lot. Believe it or not, this can actually be completely filled up. And usually it is days like New Year's Eve, which was yesterday. But there was not that many people. Not that I was at Magic Kingdom yesterday, but still, there's not a lot of people. So
tell us about, as we drive to Epcot, tell us about your day yesterday. Like, walk us through it.
Yeah, so I got reservations for Epcot. Magic Kingdom actually filled up.
Which isn't a huge surprise.
Right, and then it was also closing at 11 as opposed to earlier that the other parks were closing at. Each one had a staggered closing time. So I think Epcot worked out well. It closed at 10. So I actually didn't go into the park until I think it was maybe 3-ish, 4-ish, something like that. And even though it's not like clear till midnight, I was planning on staying up and around until midnight, and so that's where I didn't want to spend quite a whole day in a park, because that can be a very long day. And so it and Mr. Daps, I know you know what that can be like to be in a park. Let's say more than 12, 15, 20 hours or something. But so we got in about afternoon, and it really wasn't too crowded, which was nice. I was actually kind of surprised with that, and was able to do quite a bit of rides. Really a fun time walking around and seeing some of the Christmas stuff that I'm assuming is mostly gone right now, but
well, especially after what we saw today.
What's that?
Especially after what we saw at Magic Kingdom today, I think you're probably right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Christmas tree was actually gone from Epcot yesterday.
Which is weird.
Yeah. Especially that technically they were extending a lot of stuff, but yeah, just to finish it out. So while I was in line for a ride, I actually just thought I would check to see if there's any reservations at restaurants that were around the Epcot hotels for close to midnight, just to kind of go and do something and have something at the hotels, which hotels were staying open, like the restaurants and stores and food courts were staying open until 1 a.m. And
makes sense. I think one of the challenges we had when we were there is things closed too early. Mm-hmm. And they changed that at least for last night.
Yeah, I mean, a drastic difference in closing times. And so, and granted, that was just last night. I think they're back to the regular closing times and whatnot. Like Magic Kingdom closes at 9 p.m. tonight, and that's more regular for this season. So I actually managed to get the Ale and Compass, which was at the Yacht Club, for right before 11 o'clock. And
nice.
Ended up eating there. Through that, I was able to get a nice little hat that I've actually been wanting for a long time. They actually have really, really nice New Year's hats.
Is that cardboard?
Mm-hmm. They're cardboard, yeah.
Okay.
I think just
I couldn't tell if it was plastic or cardboard.
Yeah, but yeah, I just like that it's a nice print. It's a nice print. So
I'll be curious to see how you get it back to California.
I haven't figured that out yet. I actually have to figure that out sooner than later, because I will be switching locations in a couple days. So I'll be
So where are you switching to?
I will be switching to a Fort Wilderness cabin.
Nice. Now I really just want to get a ticket and head out there. Well, we looked at that one, didn't we?
I think we did. Yeah.
Yeah. I will be very curious to see. Like, you should do a video tour of it.
Oh, I'm definitely planning on it. I think that's where I don't mind saying some things on this stream. Is that's my plan, is to do a bit of a video tour.
That's going to be super cool.
I have actually never stayed at Fort Wilderness at all.
Yeah, me either. I love it over there, though.
Me too. It's
it is going wonderfully.
You know, the gimbal's being a gimbal.
It's being gimbalish.
We were almost at the hotel though, so
yeah, it's been a quick ride.
Mm-hmm.
It still blows my mind that we've now been streaming for almost an hour and a half, And yes, granted, I'm plugged into a hardwire and Ethernet and internet and all this stuff to give us basically a baseline and a backup stream. But you've been completely wireless this entire stream, and for the most part, it's been I feel like very nice quality.
I hope it has been for everyone.
Yeah, let us know in the comments for those of you that are currently watching or who are watching later and have made it an hour and a half in. Oh, there's the new building, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What is it, the Reserve? Is that what they called it?
Oh, what's that?
Is it called the Reserve or something like that?
I don't know if I paid attention to the name at all. I will say yes. Sure.
I'm looking it up as we continue to drive. I'll hop myself off camera so I don't look completely weird. Yeah, it's the scenic tour of the rental car. Exactly. Angela says the quality's been great. All things considered. Okay. We will take it. Thank you. The Disney World Swan Reserve. I was close.
Oh, and it's more based on swan than dolphin.
Apparently.
Please take the parking ticket. Please enter following the guide.
Don't forget your ticket.
Oh, I didn't. Don't worry.
That is one thing that's interesting, as they kind of seem like they're moving away from magic bands.
Well,
and
this is also not an official Disney hotel.
Right, but it just made me think of like the way you generally would get into your hotels when you're driving from the Disney hotels is with your magic band.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they're switching to an app, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out if you're able to do the same thing on My Disney Experience.
I've been wondering that too. And
I hadn't considered that till just now.
Yeah, it hasn't seemed like it's been fully integrated yet for that.
The other thing that's interesting is they're just bringing magic bands to Alani now.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be interesting because it seemed like they were kind of moving away from them by not making them free anymore. Like, and so maybe it's they're not going away, they're just changing the model. Those clouds are sure pretty.
It is, yeah, it's a very nice day.
It's funny because it's like a perfect day in Florida, and it would be what we'd consider a perfect day in the summer in California.
Yeah.
It looks like it's, you said the humidity's low, and I'm like, oh, that's a perfect any day in Florida, and for us, it'd be a perfect summer day. So are you looking for a parking spot right now? Is that what's happening?
I am, and I think I found one that I'm going to select.
So I'm excited about this just because I haven't been able to see the new fountain yet at Epcot, and I'm hoping we can pull that off.
Oh, I think so. All right, I think it's going to go wonky just for a minute. Sorry, everyone.
Oh, this is fun. Look at that. Look at that seatbelt, everybody.
We're going to...
We're going to take a good look at that seatbelt made by Nissan, I believe. And
all right, I think I'm going to go gimbal this for a little bit.
Okay.
And
Murray, have you been to Gideon's?
I have, actually.
You sent us some great pictures of it.
Yeah. And still have a little bit of the cookies left. So...
did I hear they're a half pound?
They are, yeah. Each.
That's like a week's worth of cookie then.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. So what did you get there?
I got a peanut butter and banana cake slice.
Okay.
which they had started right then. Also, in case anyone's wondering, I'm trying to get things together to be able to get through the gate and whatnot. So I got that cake slice, and then there was a seasonal, what they call a Krampus cookie, which was like an Andes mint. And then
oh, that sounds good.
The other was a white chocolate
Krampus.
Yeah. I don't know why that was a Krampus one, but yeah.
Okay.
And then there was there was an Andes mint one that or that was the Andes mint one. There's a white chocolate one that I got also that was seasonal. And so
what are the prices there?
I will admit I just like went for it. I didn't even check.
Sometimes it's better not to know. Okay, that's fair.
I think maybe in some ways, but if it helps, I also got a cold brew that was very good, a peanut butter cold brew.
A peanut butter cold brew.
A peanut butter cold brew, yeah. And it was a little over $30, I think, for all of them.
So probably like $6 to $8 for each thing, huh?
I think maybe so, yeah. Probably pretty close. I think there's some that are definitely more than others. Sure. I think the cake slice was probably the most expensive, if I had to guess. So
that would make sense.
I don't know. Yeah, it's
any of those. So also, you've been putting a lot of these things on your Insta story. If people want to follow that, where would they go?
Oh, I just put an earbud in, so I could.
There you are.
Yeah. Sorry, I missed that part. Just putting the earbud in.
So you've been putting a lot of things on your Insta story, and if people want to follow your trip on Instagram, could they go?
Oh, DAPs Murray, all one word.
Really hard to remember.
Yes.
In fact, I'm going to even put it in a banner on the bottom of the page so that people can follow along your trip. Sorry about the typing, everybody.
I hope to make it worth following then for everyone. So it won't be for a little while as we have to walk to the entrance, but just so everyone knows who's watching, I'm gonna have to pause my camera and audio for a time because they don't really like filming at security.
That is true, and we respect
will fully take over at that point.
Yeah, so when we get to that point, please in the comments ask me about anything that you would like to know about my experiences at Walt Disney World or things I may or may not know at Walt Disney World. I am definitely more of a Disneyland expert than Walt Disney World, but I'm getting better, I feel like. Murray can tell me if I'm wrong there, but let us know in the comments anything you'd like me to chat about as I awkwardly stare at a blank screen waiting for Murray to pop back up as he goes through security. And once again,
it shouldn't take too long. But
no, it shouldn't. And I am blown away that we can do something like this. I just think of like when we first met Murray, the limitations we had technologically, and now it's like the sky's the limit. In fact, this whole thing came about because at, 9 o'clock Pacific time this morning, you texted me and you're like, hey, we should do a live stream. And I love that we can be like, okay, let's do it. Like that's just a blast. So you're walking up, is this around the back side of the Swan?
No, this is actually the front side.
Of
the Dolphin.
Oh, this is the Dolphin. Okay.
Yeah, we'll actually get to see the Swan.
Cool. So they share a parking lot. Is that what you're saying?
Actually, 2 separate parking lots.
Oh, okay.
I found out. Yeah, they keep them pretty separate, but they're very close together, extremely close together. For those of you
like an infinity.
Never been around here.
Yeah, I've never been to this side of it.
This was my first time too, which was kind of enjoyable.
I mean, really, when we walked around both of them when we were there in September was the most I toured either of them. Which reminds me, I think I have pictures of me with those droids, huh?
Mm-hmm. I've been seeing them again, and I thought about that.
I will answer your question when we get to security, Angela. Feel free to keep throwing them in.
I think I'll try to go in this way. I might be able to.
Okay.
This
I just
is
love
the convention center part, but they've been.
there. You can see the lobby,
I think,
or side of the lobby, I guess.
signal
Huh?
should stay. Mm-hmm. So I think the biggest difference is they made the Dolphin to be very much the convention center part,
Right.
like the main convention center. I think there's some ballrooms and stuff at the Swan, but this is just a side of the Dolphin, and it's a very large convention center. And this is the main lobby part of the Dolphin. I apologize again. Hopefully I can make it not too shaky, but I do find that very beautiful.
It really is.
Part. Yeah.
Well, and at different times of day, also, it's just beautiful. And I'm keeping you on full screen right now, Murray, because it's just a really nice view.
Oh, yeah.
Just so you're not surprised, you know. Christmas tree's still up there, it looks like.
Yeah. Very nice one.
I love that chandelier thing in the middle, too. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
So if I recall, on our left...
Now, this is...
So the left is where that droid...
Yeah, go ahead.
The left is where that droid was?
Actually.
Yeah. Okay, see it off in the corner, everybody.
We're not making it up. We promise.
Well, and then it became like a quest to find the droids to take pictures with them, because why not, you know? And actually, that's a good segue as you're... as we're talking about random pictures, is Murray gave us a heads up that they were doing a Christmas... Was it Christmas Bazaar or something like that at Knott's Berry Farm after they closed Taste of Mary Farm? And so Katie and I went in and took pictures of all of the penguins because why not? And we have those up on DAPs, well, on Geeks Corner's new website, which is geekscorner.live. If you want to go check that out, it's still in development, but we've got a shorter domain now that we are. That looks great, Murray.
I hope it really was. I don't know what I did exactly.
It's pretty.
So this is the back of the Dolphin.
Which is weird because I, like, in my head, it's like, oh, this is the front. You know, like it's kind of that weird.
Right, yeah. Oh, it's really weird because this is the back of the Swan.
Yeah.
That we were looking at right now.
Well, and this is one of my favorite places because you can hop on the friendship boats here. Is this basically retracing the steps we took, Murray, or is it the opposite direction?
I think it's probably
first.
Retracing, yeah. What did we do? Because we had to go take the Skyliner again, right? Something like that.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm like doing random stuff with my stuff, but if it suddenly goes to the ground,
just look at my pictures too. But you know,
But yeah, you and I were not staying at any of the Epcot hotels during our trip, and so we came from Epcot. Did we? I think it was when we had to take the Skyliner lot. Did we come over here?
I think so.
So here's the Swan, just to show, and again the Dolphin. So just to show how close those are.
Yeah. No, this is the way we went, Murray. So we went up and over this bridge. Yeah, this is what we did.
Okay.
I was scrolling through my pictures, but then I just had this moment of recognition, like, oh yeah. And then we took the picture of the hotel up on the left. Remember, over the bay. Oh, it's nice to see the boats back. It's funny. It's these little things that it makes it feel a little bit, quote unquote, normal. And it's nice to see that back.
I just switched AirPods, so can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, that's good.
So which AirPods did you switch to?
Oh, just ears. I was just doing a single AirPod at a time, so I wanted to charge the other one.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're doing one at a time?
Yeah.
Got it. Well, I'm going to answer your question, Marla, just because Murray has been and I have not been to Topolino. So I don't. Did you go to breakfast or did you go for dinner, Murray?
I went for breakfast. Yeah.
Okay. So neither of us have been for dinner yet. That's definitely on the bucket list.
I've heard it's very good at dinner.
I would love to get it at a time where you could get that sunset. Like, remember when we got the pictures of Skyliner with the sunset?
Yeah.
That to me would be the win. Like, that would be the win of the win.
Now, just full disclosure for for listening pleasure, and again, getting some videos up. So coming up, I'll be at Fort Wilderness. Actually, after that, I will be at the Riviera. So
we're going to get a lot of cool stuff.
There'll be some nice video tours of the Riviera.
I'm looking forward to seeing the room tour of that too.
Yeah.
Do you know what kind of room you have there?
I do. It is the deluxe studio.
Okay.
As opposed to the tower studio, I think they call the other one.
I can't wait to see what you get.
I think I've been, yeah, I think I've been seeing just from different places. It's been having a little bit of mixed reviews. Granted, I haven't stayed there. This will be the first time. But I think where people are saying that the one thing about the tower studios is it's a little bit smaller, that it even has a pull-down bed, which you can see what those are like from when you and I stayed at Pop Century. We have a video of that. And, like, I think you and I, we found, or that's the one that you liked a lot, right?
I thought it was a blast.
Yeah.
I think it's a brilliant way to use the room because you get so much more living space than a room with two beds in it.
Oh, absolutely. So that's where I think it's getting kind of a bad rap, is everyone's basing it on the tower studio. But I think the other thing about that particular room is they actually have them on the top floor. And that is really cool. That, kind of the cheapest room, and again, it's just, I think, because of the space that they have, that they made it smaller, but it's actually at the top, which is a good kind of compromise, I feel like.
Yeah.
And so I don't know why the resort's kind of getting bad rap in ways. I think you and I had a blast just walking around too. So.
Oh, totally. And I think part of it is it's changed the paradigm of what like how the hotel room should be in that case. And I personally, like, to me, that's a that's an upgrade to me, just because I like the idea of having the extra space, and then when you want to go to bed, you pull your bed down and you can use it. And I think a lot of people feel like space equates value as opposed to functionality equating value. Like I would rather have the functionality than extra space,
or even ambiance, or
right. And so to me, it's like, I've always, even when I've found places to live, it's never about how big it is. It's like, what is the space like? You know, what is that feeling that you get when you go into the room or you go into an apartment or a house or whatever that is? And that's where I actually think, to me, is one of the more intriguing things about Riviera is getting that, you know, a unique perspective that you're really getting more per inch, maybe, than you would in some of the older hotels. And not having stayed in Riviera, I would almost guarantee I would choose it over Caribbean Beach, which is right next door, and I have stayed.
I have stayed at Caribbean Beach also. I think you and I have different thoughts on it, but which yours I think is a little bit better.
You think which one?
Oh, I think you have a little bit of better thoughts on Caribbean Beach, but
I like the view.
But
yeah. Well, and I was in one of the really far out buildings too, and I really liked that it was quiet and like it just was very peaceful. The Pirates of the Caribbean theme was a little bit over the top for me, and
I've heard other people say that. I liked it, but that's my favorite ride. But
oh, I love that ride. If it was real wood, I think I would have been all about that. I'm just not a huge fan of the recreated plastic wood. Like, and that's something I've liked about.
And also, you're
walking around it, is I loved how authentic things felt, and I think that's something that always resonates with me. Is like, be what you're going to be. And if you're going to do it, go for it all the way, which is probably why I do enjoy. I mean, like, we loved Old Key West too, because it is what it is. And it's not trying to be something different. Whereas I feel like the Caribbean Beach kind of is this like halfway going for the Pirates of the Caribbean theme, but they didn't go all the way. And so it almost feels like, I think it almost cheapened what it was. And I think if they'd have perhaps just upped the quality a little bit, like they could have taken it the price level would go a whole level up too, but it just kind of didn't connect with me because of
I can understand that. Yeah.
Marla is saying in the chat, Murray, that she wouldn't want to stay at the Caribbean, rather Coronado, but favorite moderate is still Port Orleans.
Oh, absolutely. French Quarter for me, especially.
Okay.
I have been actually a little bummed. Honestly, I probably on this trip I would have. No, I think that I was going to say I would have maybe stayed there the whole time. I don't think that's true, actually. If they were open, I think I still would have tried probably either Fort Wilderness or Riviera, doing a split stay. But French Quarter, if anyone has a chance in the future to stay at French Quarter, is willing to stay at a moderate, I think it is one of the best resorts on property. I would dare say.
I would love to stay there.
Yeah,
it's definitely
like
on my list.
Square. It's nice and quiet, and I don't think we did a lot of video at Old Key West now that I think about it.
No, we just didn't really think.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if I've uploaded that yet.
We have a lot.
You're now hearing a very common conversation between Murray and I, where we go off on these random tangents about Disney stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I think I have a video of that I haven't uploaded yet."
Or a photo or something.
Yeah.
Like, I got something. What did I do? Yeah.
I am going to take a side
Which, by the way, I didn't say before.
Go ahead, you do that, and then I'm going to talk about where you're at also.
Well, actually, I was going to say I've been walking by Yacht and Beach, in case anyone was wondering. But
and that's always a special. Yeah, and that's a special place for us too. Right up here, if you go a little bit further left, Murray, kind of up to your right as you're walking. Yeah, right up there on the right, other side, beach side. There we go. There's going to be a swinging bench. There you go. And I think there's another one coming up too. But this is the general vicinity where our good friends Tyler and Haley got engaged, and I think it was that one. And I had the pleasure of being in on it and getting to take the pictures of the moment and get some engagement shots with them. Gosh, it was 3 years ago, I think now. 4, because it's 2021. Actually, I think it's the one you're coming up to right now, Murray.
This one?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I was still amazed that we surprised Haley on that day because I thought for sure it was going to get out somehow. I do think one of the benefits of staying at any of these hotels is this walk.
Mm-hmm.
Like we walk this even when we're not staying at these hotels.
And not taking the boardwalk side, I mean, I highly recommend the boardwalk is a wonderful area to walk around at, and especially at night.
There's some good restaurants over there too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm spacing the name of the Italian one, but I really like that one.
I always have problems, especially that there's Topolino now. I think it's Trattoria.
Yeah.
I want to say it's like Trattoria al Forno. But I also don't know if that's the one inside Epcot, which is a name that I don't always remember either. So please feel free to say in the chat if anyone who's watching and knows.
Trattoria al Forno. I just looked it up.
Is it boardwalk? Okay.
I believe so. Yep.
I
Disney's
have eaten
boardwalk
there as well.
Oh wait, that might be the old.
So
no, I think.
It should be the new restaurant or the newest. It's undergone some transformations. So we are approaching security.
All right, so you tell me when you're gonna go, and then everybody in the chat start throwing lots of questions. This is gonna
be like a lightning round.
Great experiment for this whole thing. I mean, either way, you have the link to get back in.
Never done anything like this.
No, we've never done this. It is weird to think I'm having flashbacks of this walkway with pouring rain at 10 o'clock at night.
We waited in line in pouring rain.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was Caribbean Beach for some reason, but no, it was. Yeah,
it was right here up on the right.
Yeah.
And then the left too, actually. What a crazy world we live in.
But, if you have to wait in rain, you might as well do it at that, right?
Exactly. Well, I just think it's amazing that here I am sitting in DAP Studios and you are walking into the International Gateway at Epcot, and I'm watching this live and interacting with you live on camera.
Which I think I'm going to go to this bench back here.
Okay.
And get myself situated to go through security. So I'm going to, I think all goes well. I'll still talk for a second. I'm going to turn off my cam.
You got it.
And then here goes my mic.
All right. So we're going to lose Murray for a minute. Skylar is a blast. And that is one of, I think, the perks of staying at Riviera, at Disney's Caribbean Beach, or at actually Pop or Art of Animation now. And I am glad you're enjoying this, Marla. We are really looking forward to the tour of Epcot next, just because we're going to get to see the new fountain. And we're going to see probably the big, I guess it's going to be a fountain / projector for Harmonious, as well as we head into Epcot and go one way or the other around World Showcase Lagoon. I will go back to, I saw Angela asked a question a few minutes ago. Do you think all the planned improvements will open in time for the Magic Kingdom's 50th, or Walt Disney World's 50th. I'm going to say no for what was originally announced. I think already we've heard some things that aren't happening and some things that are seemingly being modified. And so I think whatever... I hope we get to watch Murray try the kiosks. That would be fun. But my hunch is we're not going to see the 50th as we envisioned it coming out of the last D23 Expo. I still think we're going to discover it's pretty magical and there'll be a lot of fun things. I almost wonder if they're going to take a more Year of a Million Dreams approach. It wouldn't surprise me. The Walt Disney World president just this week mentioned that a lot of it is going to be the magic of the cast members centric. And so that means to me that it's going to be about personal moments, perhaps. And we will see how that goes. I'm going to actually take over the full screen right now because Murray is still off camera. So we will see how that goes. But I would tend to guess we're going to see a 50th. It's going to be different. I actually think a big part of the 50th celebration is going to be focused on Epcot as we see Harmonious hopefully arrive this year, which will be, I am super excited about seeing that happen. And it'll be interesting to see the other barges come out and see what that looks like with the fountains in World Showcase Lagoon. And then seeing if, are they going to do a special 50th fireworks at Magic Kingdom, or is there going to be, what are they going to do to make it different and special? And that will be very interesting to see. Angela says, also, it looks like Disney is still doing a good job at making COVID changes feel the least invasive as possible. But what's one of the biggest differences you noticed on your trip? Well, I think the big difference is you're wearing a mask all the time. And the big surprise to me was it's really not that bad to wear a mask 12 hours, 14 hours a day. And I will flat out tell you that when I'm wearing a bow tie, that's way more uncomfortable than wearing the mask, and way warmer as well. I will say with a beard, the mask got a little bit sweaty at times. Sorry if that's too much information. I thought because of the COVID protocols, you're seeing many more cast members out and about. Everybody has become custodial, it seems like. So you see people cleaning the railings, cleaning garbage cans, cleaning benches, you name it. There's people walking around with spray and rags to wipe them off and to sanitize and keep things clean, which I liked seeing that just because it made it feel that much safer, even if maybe that's not the most important part. I think it sounds like masks wearing is the most important part of the safety with all of this, but the sanitization of just about everything. And then they'd stop the attractions once in a while, then they'd sanitize everything and start them back up. And so just, they did lots of things that gave you that feeling that they're really taking this seriously and they're working hard to create a safe environment. And I don't think that traditionally that's something you really even consider at a Disney theme park. You're like, well, of course it's safe. It's Disney. And now they're actually going above and beyond to show that it's safe and that it's Disney. And I see Murray is back, and I think I hear him. Mm-hmm. The relaxation stations were very nice as well.
And we're going to have the moment of truth.
Does Murray park hop? I'm pretty sure they would have stopped you by now, but
Ladies and gentlemen, park hopping is back.
Park hopping is back at Walt Disney World. Well done, Murray. That was very magical. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. Let's go to you instead of to me. So I'm hoping, Murray, would you mind walking a little bit around World Showcase and maybe showing us how busy it is, maybe the barge for Harmonious, and then maybe we can wrap it up over by Spaceship Earth with the fountain.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
I think that was kind of my thought too.
I love it. We're on the same track. We're good at this. So as you're walking, Murray, Angela's question is, you've now been there 3 times, and she's wondering if you've noticed any changes to the COVID protocols. Are things getting relaxed with more crowds, or are they about the same? Or what's been your observations from August to September to now 2021?
Yeah, what I would consider actual protocols are not being relaxed in the way of like they are enforcing masks, they are enforcing spacing, um, capacity, may have increased a little bit, but oh, you know what? I'm gonna do. Oh, maybe I don't have to do a detour. Don't know if you can see. Sorry, pausing in the protocols. There's Mary Poppins. So a lot of the actual like safety things are not being taken away, which is really good. Even with capacity increasing as well. The one thing that I've noticed that's kind of interesting, though, is there's more allowance of people on rides. So it's been kind of interesting in that way to have like people in front of me more often, and it's because they put kind of a plexiglass barrier between rows, and I'm not used to that, but it's not bad. It still feels safe once I kind of adjust my thinking, but it's taken a little bit of time to like readjust to that and realize, oh, there can be more people on these rides, and
Right.
and it's still safe. Yeah, but
that barge is big.
It's big. It surprises me how unobtrusive it is, which is really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're getting another question. Marla's wondering, more plexiglass barriers on the rides, question mark. Could you explain that a little bit?
They I guess they're not all plexiglass either. There's these like barriers that are in between the rows, basically, that are hard plastic in some form. Sorry about that scream. Hopefully that didn't come through too much. That was not me. Not me screaming. But yeah, there are some times where the rides have these barriers to add another like layer of separation from people, and it's sorry, I'm pausing. I think my gimbal is actually failing in some way, so I might have to switch to handheld, and I apologize to everyone. I was hoping to keep it. No gimbal. Sorry, everyone.
The old school way.
Yeah. So to get back to the plexiglass barriers. So yeah, they're just a big separation between people. So they have them on Rise of Resistance. That's been more recent. Mickey's Runaway Railway was more recent. They added more to, or I think, Mr. Debs, you can help me remember this. I think did Living with the Land have them on each row, but they still weren't seating each row?
That's correct.
Okay, so now they're seating each row for Living with the Land.
How did that feel to you?
I think, like I said, at first, it was a little weird.
Okay.
Just because I wasn't used to it. But now getting used to it a little bit more, it doesn't feel unsafe. It just, it's that whole thing of like, we've had such a long period of time of, do not be near anyone. And so I think it's just that weird kind of rethinking.
It's almost like a retraining.
It's okay to be that close. Exactly. So
yeah,
that's really all it is. It's not it hasn't felt like a safety issue. It just feels like a reorientation.
Well, and we'd be curious too, as you've now shared this with us, Murray, what people that are watching, how you feel about plexiglass between different rows as opposed to being plexiglass and socially distant. I think it's a good idea from a safety perspective, and I do think there's a psychological retraining that we have to get back to used to being, closer than 6 feet with people, and that will be an interesting thing to see how that plays out.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it does create.
The good thing is too. Oh, sorry. What was that?
Marla said in the chat that it creates glares, but it also lets her ride be safe.
It does. I think the only time that I was a little annoyed by it was actually Living with the Land, because they were, for Christmas time, doing what they call Merry and Bright Nights.
Right.
And so having the type of thing where I say I call it all plexiglass, but it wasn't all plexiglass. What they had for Living with the Land was a sheet, like a very, very thick plastic sheet that was kind of flexible. I know that doesn't sound safe. I'm not describing it well, but it wasn't hard plastic. It was pliable. Yeah. And so unfortunately, there's kind of wrinkles in it, and so it makes it harder to see some of the stuff because of that. So that was the only time where it's wanting to see a lot more that way. Whereas Rise of Resistance, at first it was noticeable because I haven't ever seen that, and then once I got used to it, I mean you can still see everything. So they don't typically get in the way.
All around you on that one too.
Oh no, frosting down.
So does it look like there's any progress being made in this area for reopening this walkway?
Maybe not reopening the walkway anytime soon, but I think there's been a lot of progress.
Okay.
And it has more to do with the buildings coming down.
And it does look like this park is much less crowded than Magic Kingdom. Is that accurate?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm going to guess, though, that World Showcase is a little more crowded right now.
Which is pretty common.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think of Figment's sweater?
I loved it. It looks much better in person than photos, and so I wish that they sold a plush or actually sold the sweater. I would wear the sweater.
I want the sweater.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting because I feel like a week from now you'll probably have flowers all in this area.
Yeah. Actually, now that you say that, they used to, when I'm walking beside this area is where they've normally done, that's Flower and Garden, so it'll be Festival of the Arts. They do,
that's right,
mural that you can do paint by number, and yeah, I don't know where they're going to put that mural.
I wonder if it's going to be over by Guardians.
Yeah, I think you're right. They could put it there, yeah.
I feel like I saw something about that somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's one of the weird things as I'm thinking about changes between pre-COVID and now, is it's weird not having the monorail occasionally go by. That's always kind of a fun photo shoot thing to do, and it just adds that much more. We talked about it when we were doing the extinct attractions, but the kinetic energy that the monorail brings to the skies of Epcot, it's kind of missed. So would you say it's still like 80 degrees out?
It's a little cooler.
Okay.
Probably 78, 79.
Okay, so not too bad.
Yeah.
I do like this walkway now that they have where you kind of go down by the seas.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was kind of a fun. We took pictures down there, and it was kind of a fun place to go when we were there in September.
There's actually, I think, some pretty nice shots for Spaceship Earth now, further along here.
I agree. It'll be interesting to see when everything's finished what those shots are like. I'm also very intrigued by Dreamer's Point to see what that's like for taking pictures of Spaceship Earth as well. It feels really quiet from what we're seeing right now.
A little bit.
I always like this shot of Spaceship Earth too. Like that reflection, I think, is one of the most beautiful. Wow.
I will say, I was realizing I don't think today I've realized that I've park hopped yet. But probably after the stream, it'll hit me to have been able to go to Magic Kingdom and then now Epcot.
Yeah, and it's such a, for us at least, a normal / perfect day is to start at Magic Kingdom or somewhere and then end your day at Epcot. Like that's always one of my favorite ways to do Walt Disney World. And I do love that you get so many more views of Spaceship Earth now from different perspectives than we did before.
I like that too. Yeah.
Like it actually makes it feel that much more grand and miraculous to pull from the attraction. But like, you know that it's a ball when you're looking at it, walking in and walking past it, but getting to walk around it from so many different angles, just, I don't know, makes it that much more impressive.
I think for possibly the most impressive icon around resorts now, maybe just
it's definitely the most unique.
But I mean, it's at a distance. But World Showcase, you can easily see it from different pavilions, and then Future World. Yeah, you do get all those different angles. That when you think about, and it's not. Don't anyone get me wrong. Like the castles in various kingdom parks are so beautiful and wonderful.
Totally.
But you don't see them from every land.
Right.
So this is such an icon.
Well, and the castles are, created from fairy tales, and there's a that looks really pretty. Like there's history behind them, where I feel like this is more creative. Wow, that looks super cool. What time's the park closed today, Mary?
I'm without looking, I'm gonna guess either 9 or 10.
Okay. That is nice. Oh, that is cool. Well done, Disney. Yeah, I love that. So how did you feel when you first saw this, Murray?
I don't know if you're waiting for some things that I was saying on Instagram, but this is an amazing sculpture, I think, and it's just the more you spend time around it, the more magnificent it becomes, and it's because of. I mean, this is such a clear prism. You get a lot of neat rainbow effects that go on the fountain itself. The fountain is just a nice fountain. I mean, that water, it's a smooth fall.
Mm-hmm.
I think from every angle, if you walk around, like looking through each of the pylons, there's a really interesting view from different perspectives. And then at night, the lights are incredible with it, and that's even without the upcoming light scheme that they're going to have on Spaceship Earth itself. So, yeah, I think it's interesting that Spaceship Earth is much more like the icon, the weenie in the park, but this is like, to me, this is a little bit more the Epcot icon, or becoming that a little bit more, just because of how intricate it is at like what it actually does, depending on the light and depending on the angle that you're seeing it at. So
I love how they work together too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just blows my mind at how perfect they blend together. Like, they just work perfectly together, and it's and they're completely different, but there's still lines that make sense. Like the pylons going up to hold Spaceship Earth kind of connect with the pylons in the middle of the fountain, and the lines there, and then obviously the Epcot logo on the pylons for the fountain also connect with Spaceship Earth, and it's just spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe as we wrap this up, Murray, you could get us a couple more glamour shots of that beautiful fountain, and yeah, this looks way better without walls in front of it.
I mean, you'd hope so, yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to go back and see this in person. That's just going to be phenomenal. Well, I think we've reached the end of this live stream, and thank you all so much for joining us on New Year's Day at Walt Disney World as we park hop together with Murray, who carried us around for over 2 hours. I hope his arms aren't completely dead. And then ended with this magnificent view of the new fountain here in Epcot that continues its transformation, and we're going to see more of it coming in the coming months, years. But thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't done it already, hit that subscribe button on this YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos or live streams that we have coming up. We've got quite a few of those going, and I think we're going to get an update from Murray on Tuesday night for Geeks Corner about his thoughts, and I don't know, we'll see what comes from that, but something about Walt Disney World, I think. And Murray, thank you so much for carrying us around for 2.5 hours, and you have a safe night and a fun night in Epcot. Make sure you follow Murray on Instagram at DAPs Murray, because he's going to keep posting throughout the whole trip.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we will see.
And thank you for joining too.
It was fun. All right, so we're going to say goodnight. Have a great week. Have a happy New Year, everybody. And we'll hopefully see you in the parks again really soon.